Hello, it is late December 2020 and I'm in Congaree National Park, South Carolina for a backpacking adventure. I'm looking forward to it. This is my first backpacking trip in South Carolina, my first visit to Congaree, and the park is a very special environment. It is the largest remaining eastern lowlands ecosystem in the world. There are more champion trees in Congaree than anywhere else in North America. It's a beautiful day today, and I'm looking forward to hitting the trail. Well, for those who are quite familiar with trees or familiar with this area of the country, it's pretty easy to tell that this is not the eastern lowland section of the park. This is a pine forest section. This is the highest elevation area of the park, the bluff area. And when I drop down to a lower elevation tomorrow, and we're talking dozens of feet, I believe, that will be the eastern lowlands forest section. So a couple different ecosystems here, cool to check out. Nary a cloud in the sky today as I make my way towards the Bluff campsites. Home sweet home. I've made it to the Bluff campsites. I have site 5. I believe all the sites are reserved today. There are a couple other tents set up here already. Beautiful little campground area here. And I'm going to go ahead and get my hammock set up. Champion trees are the largest specimens of their species. Congaree hosts many champions thanks to its long growing season and flood-delivered nutrients. On this trip, I'm using the Congaree National Park Trail Guide map, available outside the Congaree Visitor Center. Let's take a look at the map for day 1. I hiked from the Longleaf Campground to the Bluff Trail, and it's available a little closer on the insert here, from Longleaf along the bluff to the Bluff Campground. Day 1 was about 1 mile. Well, day 1 of my trip here in Congaree National Park has been a great day. Got a beautiful site here in this area. Got all my wood gathered up. Looking forward to a good evening. Had a beautiful day of weather today and expecting the weather to continue like that for the rest of the trip. should be highs in the mid to upper 50s and lows right around freezing, making for very comfortable hiking and camping weather. I'm gonna get some dinner in me, get a fire going, and enjoy a relaxing evening here in Congaree. And that'll be it for day one. Good night. Congaree Swamp National Monument was established in 1976 to protect the area from logging. In 2003, the name was changed to Congaree National Park. It now has the tallest known example of 15 tree species. Good morning. Made the day 2 of my trip here in Congaree National Park, South Carolina. Had a good, relaxing night and evening last night. Got to hang out with my new buddy Dula and his dog Noel. The lows overnight dropped down to about 30, but was able to stay warm and comfortable in the shelter. The rest of my plan today is really a choose your own adventure type deal, and that's kind of what I've got going on for the whole trip. Not 100% sure where my travels will take me today. I have a general idea of what trails I'd like to hike, but I'm not sure which ones are flooded and which ones are going to be dry, so I just kind of take it as I go and have a nice day of exploration and hiking in Congaree. I am looking forward to getting into the eastern lowland forest area of the park, which will have the large trees. I've got some breakfast in me. I'm going to get my hiking clothes on, and then it'll be time to hit the trail. I've seen a handful of squirrels out this morning, and the birds are chirping away. As I continue along the elevated boardwalk trail, it is getting wetter and wetter on the ground. Definitely makes me nervous for how the rest of the trail system is going to look, but only one way to find out. Here's a good look at a field of dwarf palmettos, the smaller version of the South Carolina state tree. Out through the trees there is Weston Lake. This is Weston Lake, an oxbow lake that used to be part of the Congaree River until the river shifted course about 2,000 years ago, leaving Weston stranded up here as a lake. This is the largest loblolly pine that I've ever seen in my life. This particular tree is over 150 feet tall and was a former state champion. It just goes up and 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 up. Making my way along the Sims Trail currently. The trail's been in pretty good shape, pretty dry. A lot of the terrain to either side has been wet, but I'll continue carrying along as far as I can go here. Another oxbow lake. This is Wise Lake. And I think it looks like a perfect spot for me to sit on the bank here and eat some lunch. The Congaree River now flows miles away from these oxbow lakes, but still touches them on a regular basis by routine flooding. Floodwaters cover much of the park each year, bringing in minerals and other nutrients to the productive floodplain ecosystem. I've been hiking along the river trail for the past hour or so with my buddy Jesse, and this is as far as I'm going to be able to go before turning around because the rest of the trail is flooded up. So I'm going to retrace my steps along the river trail for a little bit and then figure out where I want to go next. There are a lot of really impressive trees out here. It's a beautiful forest. Making my way along the Oak Ridge Trail, and this trail has been the best of any so far that I've seen for backcountry camping opportunities. There's quite a few higher, drier areas along this trail. Well, this is as far as I'm going to go on the Oak Ridge Trail. Just past a couple hikers who said that about a quarter mile down it's flooded and impassable, so I'm going to retrace my steps again and head towards camp. Home sweet home. Made it back to the Bluff Campground. Looks like I may be the only person out here tonight. No one else is set up, and it's about 30 minutes till the sun sets. Let's take a look at the map for day 2. I started at the Bluff Campground, came along the trail to connect with the elevated boardwalk, followed the elevated boardwalk down to the Sims Trail, came along the Sim Trail to the Oak Ridge Trail, connected with the river trail down to about here where it became flooded, retraced my steps on the river trail, came along the Oak Ridge Trail down to about Bridge G where it became flooded again a little ways after, retraced my steps along the Oak Ridge Trail, back along to the Sims Trail, came back to the elevated boardwalk, walked back along, and returned to the Bluff Campground. Day 2 was about 10 miles. Day 2 of my trip here in Congaree National Park has been a really awesome day. I greatly enjoyed the hiking beautiful forest, really unique swamp areas, an ecosystem that I'd never spent any time in before, so it's been a real treat to get to come and immerse myself in this area for a couple days. Had a good time hiking with my new friend Jesse. Got to hike with him twice today, and he saved me some time coming down the Oak Ridge Trail, let me know that it was flooded a little ways back, so saved me a good couple steps there. The sun is getting ready to set, so I'm gonna finish preparing the last little bit of tinder and kindling for my fire tonight, get some food in me, and settle in for a relaxing evening. And that'll be the end of day 2. Good night. In addition to national park status, Congaree has also been designated as a natural national landmark, an international biosphere reserve, a wilderness, and a globally important bird area. Good morning. Made to day 3, the final day of my trip here in Congaree National Park, South Carolina. Had another very nice, relaxing evening and night last night. Ended up deciding not to make a fire. It was much warmer than the previous night. We had some cloud cover come in right around sunset that lasted until about bedtime. That really helped hold the heat of the day in, so I didn't see the need for it. Today my plan is to hike a couple miles. I want to go check out the section of the Boardwalk trail that I haven't seen so far, so I'm going to do a little loop around the park and then finish things off. So should be a couple more good sights to see, and I'm going to get some breakfast finished up and packed up and get ready to go check out that last little bit of hiking here. Let's take a look at the map for day 3. Today's hike will be entirely contained in the inset, so I'm just going to use that. I'll start at Bluff Campground, follow the trail to connect with Sims Trail. I'll take that down to the Boardwalk, and then I'll hit the low Boardwalk section to take me to the ranger station area, and from there I'll continue along the Longleaf Trail back to the Longleaf Campground where my car is parked. Day 3 should be close to 3 miles for a trip total of approximately 14 miles. I've left a good bit of prepared firewood here at campsite 5 for the next person. Hopefully they can pass it along. It's really tough to capture the scale of these trees as we hear a woodpecker working in the background. But most of these through here are approaching 150 feet tall. And they just rise right out of the water here. Let's take a look around at this swampy area as I make my way along the boardwalk. And yes, I have been waiting all trip to do that. Well, my 3-day backpacking trip here in Congaree National Park, South Carolina has come to an end. I really enjoyed my time out here. Beautiful hiking through the forest, great relaxing camp evenings, made a couple new buddies. What more could one ask for in a trip? I would like to come back out here in the future and explore further when the water levels are a little lower and more of the park is accessible, so looking forward to a future adventure in Congaree as well. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to Layne's World. Goodbye.